How you start is how you finish. Episode 2, preparing for the shot. So, in the last episode, we talked about walking up to the line, setting your feet, standing up straight to shoot proudly, and then looking at the target. In this episode, I have props. So, just like you will, I'll have my bow in my hand, up on the line. First thing I'm going to do, grab an arrow. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've myself embarrassingly have been shooting in my backyard, and you're shooting and shooting and shooting, and you forget to put an arrow in your bow one of the times. And we all know what dry firing is. If you don't, it's bad. It's essentially shooting the bow without an arrow in it, and it can lead to a mess of problems that you don't want to do. So put it in your shot process to put an arrow in your bow. So load up the arrow. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my release. And I'm going to hook it onto the D-loop. This is a thumb release. You might have a wrist release. It doesn't matter. Just make it part of the process. Next thing, I'm going to start focus on my hand placement. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to focus on my hand placement. Well, it's something I see a lot. I see a lot like 3D shooting, and I see it a lot with new archers. They want to pick the bow up when they're getting ready to shoot, and they want to hold the bow like this with their bow hand. They want to choke it. We're not choking the bow. What I like to do is I will get my release on, and then I'm going to slide my hand all the way up to the shelf of the riser. Then I'm going to relax the wrist onto the riser. So, explain this into a little more detail. Essentially, I drew on my hand here for this, but what I tell people to do, raise your hand, turn it to a 45, and relax your fingers. That's your grip. That's how you're holding a bow. The rest is held by tension of your release on the D loop. We all have this lifeline. Starts between your thumb and your pointer finger, runs straight down to your wrist. I drew on mine just to make it more visible. This is where I like to have my bow, right where I have this check mark. I want it right on the pad of my thumb, and I'm going to relax my hand. If you cross over this line right here, you run the risk of one, torquing your bow, which can lead to inconsistencies downrange. The other thing, and if you're a new archer and if you're a seasoned archer, you know putting your bow too far on across that line runs the risk of when you shoot, that string is going to slap your arm. We call it arm slap, and it's pretty easy to pick out a new archer because they usually have a big old welt right on their forearm. But so keep that in mind. Like I said, I'm gonna have my release on. I'm gonna slide my hand all the way up to the riser, and I'm gonna relax the wrist. And at this point, the bow is only being held by the release and the tension that I have on the string. Once you're at this point, you're gonna start the draw, which is gonna be another episode. I have my own way of drawing, but maybe you have your own way. Let's see, compare, and maybe you can learn something from that too. But just these simple steps. I know it seems like first grade, like, oh, knock an arrow, oh, put your release on the D loop, oh, relax your hand on the riser. I know all of this sounds kind of just first grade, but each step is a process, and shooting a bow is a process. It's step by step, and the importance of it is that you are having a routine. The ideal archery shot is doing the same thing over and over again and achieving the same results. And if you are deviating from your pattern or your steps every shot, then every shot's going to be different. So that's it for this video. Hope you learned something. Hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm going to hit you with a few more after this. Stay tuned. Thanks.